You'll be amazed to know, yesterday I discovered I've got flowers on my strawberries. So the climate's changing, but the world is in turmoil. The political climate's changing too. Good comment. And in this country, the whole kaleidoscope of democracy has been thrown up into the air, and nobody knows where the flakes are going to land. We have got, right now, the Rochester by-election going on. The agent in Rochester is Andrew Kennedy, who's running the campaign for the Conservative Party, and in my estimation, he is one of the best agents in the country. So if we lose Rochester, as it looks as though we may well do, because the opinion polls are certainly giving UKIP a substantial lead, we will have lost it not on grounds of organisation, but on political grounds. And we're putting huge effort, the party's putting huge effort into winning that by-election. But I cannot help but think that there's a touch of irony in that they had, in selecting the candidates, the open primary system with a postal ballot. And of the 70,000 electors in Rochester, some 5,000 participated in the postal ballot to choose the candidates. And the lady was chosen.
Was it all women?
It was. They had two candidates, two women candidates for this postal ballot. And the great irony is that in Hong Kong, demonstrations have been taking place on the streets now for week after week after week, because the Chinese Communist Party has said that they will determine who the four candidates that they will allow the people of Hong Kong to select from. Here in the United Kingdom, the Conservative Party decides on two candidates that the electorate can choose from. Of course, other thing about Rochester, which I found really quite extraordinary, and it is a reason why we've got to open things up, is that they have this huge exercise of an open primary with a postal ballot, have a meeting for the public at which the result is going to be announced, and exclude all the national press. How balmy can you be to do things like that? If you're going to be open and transparent, why don't you embrace the press of the public?
It's good publicity.
Exactly. You shoot yourself in the foot.
What was the reason?
The Conservative Party is not alone in these issues of democracy. The Labour Party is about to have a leadership election in Scotland using the old, undemocratic electoral college system for choosing a new leader. And the electoral colleges are a distortion of democracy. And yet that is what the Labour Party is doing. And there's an article in today's Telegraph by Dan Hodges saying that over the next few months you're going to see quite a number of Labour MPs suddenly announce that they will be resigning their seats at the general election, and they're sorry to have left it too late, but actually they do this in conjunction with Transport House, so that the Labour Party hierarchy can then parachute in their own candidates into those seats, and they give these members their seat in the House of Lords. And of course the Conservative Party will be doing this. And the illustration I will give you is at the convention this time at the party conference. They had the meeting and they had the two-party chairman, Grant Capps and Lord Feldman there. And just at the end of the meeting, the chairman of the convention stood up and said, right, we normally hold our annual general meeting in March, but we have decided, because of the general election, to postpone it until July. Let's sit down. Now, not only is the AGM postponed from March to July, but the election of officers is postponed from March to July as well, and all the things that would normally take place at an annual general meeting. All they had to do was to say, is that agreeable to the members of the convention? And everybody would have put their hand up and said yes. But they didn't. And that's an illustration of the contempt that the ordinary party member is held. It's just, democracy is not in the DNA of those running the party.
But isn't the problem, though, that the members of the National Convention are so inexperienced that none of them know what the rules are?
Yeah.
They're just quite
Exactly. Absolutely, absolutely. And it is because of this feature of the convention that its constituency chairmen who are there for 3 years. So there is nobody there with any knowledge of the history of the party or even the history of the convention. I think I may have mentioned this at the last meeting, but I was approached and I did an interview with a professor of politics from Germany, from Stuttgart University, who's over here looking at internal party democracy throughout Europe. And I was telling her about the convention. And she said, oh, have you got minutes of the meeting so that I could have a look at? And I said, well, I gave all my files to the Conservative Party archive because they wanted them. But I'll have a look and see if I can find anything. And I did. And I found the minutes of 1999. And here they are. And throughout there's interventions, there's discussion, there's debates, and there's procedures regarding reselection of members of Parliament and changes to the Constitution, and the whole thing goes on for about 10 pages. And then I got the minutes for 2007, and that was it. It's just the top talking to the members. And so in 8 years it changed from a vibrant democratic body to a rubber stamp. Anyway, that was the National Convention. Then we had the conference, and I'll ask Mike, who's also at the conference, for his views on that. I thoroughly enjoy the party conference. I don't mind admitting it. It's an opportunity to bump into old friends and people I've known for years. What happens in the conference hall is totally irrelevant as far as the membership is concerned. The membership participation is zero. Having said all that, we used to have extremely good fringe meetings, and I have to say, they have now been taken over by the lobbyists and the PR companies as well. And so the level of discussion and debate has been hit quite badly at the conference. I'll give you an illustration. We went to a meeting in the main conference centre about the BBC. And the hall was full. I don't know, 150, 200 people, and there were these people on the platform, producers and BBC executives and whatever. The chairman suddenly said to the audience, how many in the audience are in favour of the BBC licence fee being changed into a subscription-based fee? And about a dozen people put their hands up. I thought it was amazing. I thought, must be more people than that who think, BBC should be on a subscription basis. But so I was surprised. But then she said, and how many in the audience are party members? Do you know only 10 hands went up? At a meeting in the main conference zone, 150 to 200 people in the room talking about the BBC. And the rest were lobbyists, and employees, and all the rest of it. So that is an illustration as to what has happened.